Spawning in the top, representing the Owls, is QQ. And in the bottom left, representing the Badgers, is Fleur. Okay, so far, the dessert round is tied up 2-2. I have decreed as the Owl team leader that Badgers and Moles are currently banned because we've lost 2 games in a row. And if QQ loses here, then I get to ban another unit. If Fleur loses, then the bans are reset, and Fleur gets to ban a unit. And this is a pretty cool map. This could make for a really interesting macro game, to be honest. Like, you got this river in the middle, a little bridge here, both sides on the high ground, both sides with plenty of grist mills. This is like a pretty even, cool macro map here. And QQ, always an innovator. Lizard, Ferret, a couple tier 3s, some defenses. Actually might work out pretty nicely on this map. We'll have to see. Fleur with a little bit more of a standard deck with the Ferrets. Fleur does like Ferrets and likes Badgers as well. The Ferret's not going to be great against the defenses here from QQ. Both sides with Ferrets, actually, so. And no Squirrels by QQ. Interesting pick. Alright, we got to let this game heat up a little bit. QQ doing that classic sell the Warren to refund the units, get another Warren out. So far, just tier 1. This is what I call tier 1 chicken. Both sides are kind of scouting the tier 1 and don't want to get caught with their pants down trying to tech up or take a second base and just get run over. And Lizards are going to be pretty good at doing that. They're very mobile. Both sides with Lizards here. Now, there's a little bit more special tactics available from QQ because they can kind of run up this way and strike. But for Fleur, this is all a big wall here. So there's really only one way into QQ's base, and that's through the front door. You know, so if QQ does decide to get turtley with the defenses, you know, a couple balloons and barbed wire here, a couple here, and that really seals up like 5 mils on QQ's side. QQ's moving out though. Gonna put on some pressure. Take out this cabin. But Fleur's in position, although he does drag Fleur's units to the one side. Tries to come over, but decides to go back. Too risky. Fleur in position. Nicely played on both sides there. And the boar is on the way. Oh, Fleur just barely didn't scout it. The board makes sense seeing all this tier 1. It looks like Fleur really just wants to build a lot of tier 1 and start powering up his economy. And QQ really wants to deny the scout as much as he can, but doesn't want to make it too obvious that you're really trying to deny the scout, because then you're kind of showing that you have something to hide. QQ gonna run in though. Fleur not quite in position, gonna lose a pig. That's all QQ can get as he runs out. A couple of the lizards dying on the retreat here, so Fleur does get some food back, but it's always worth to trade units for farms, as long as that doesn't give you a tempo disadvantage, which it really doesn't here. Fleur does not have the opportunity to counterattack. Did Fleur see the tier 3? Man, Fleur still hasn't seen the tier 3. It has really scouted very close. Like, he's been a couple pixels away, a couple tiles away from seeing that tier 3 several times. And the balloons have, the ballooning has begun. All right, Fleur, can you see it this time? Oh my god, Fleur! Okay, there it is. He sees it. He sees it. He confirms it's a boar. All right, pretty late, but better late than never. Can get up 4 falcons. Yeah, I think that's correct. And this looks good for Fleur. Maybe some skunks, you know. Just gonna use the squizzard. Yeah, I think this comp looks good. A lot of tier 1. So Fleur's gonna have to micro this pretty well, but I'm worried for Fleur that these falcons aren't gonna be out in time. I think it's like 20 seconds to make a tier 2. So he needs 20 seconds before the boar gets there to have 3 falcons. Yeah, I think he'll be okay, especially because Fleur is actually denying this push out by hanging out. This is really smart. Like, this is all time that falcons are building and QQ's not moving out. But it doesn't look like QQ planned on moving out immediately anyways, so oh man, this is kind of like Giga Chad big brain play here from QQ, right? Because he builds the boars which says, hey, you need falcons to deal with my boars. And then he doesn't push. And then he builds a fox, which fox, like, hard counters falcons. One-shots those falcons from a mile away. So pretty interesting. I love that kind of stuff in RTS. Like, you're going to build the counter to my thing, and I'm going to build the counter to your counter. And QQ, with the Navy SEAL approach coming in here from the waters, taking out that base, no problem. However, that is the third base, not the second base. So Fleur is just fine. Fleur's going to get a lot of tempo here, though. All those lizards going down from QQ. As far as money goes, I think Fleur had maybe a farm or two on that base, so I think Fleur ended up with more food value out of that trade. Fox number 2 on the way. Now it's Fleur's chance to backstab, though. Even going to take a mill up here. Maybe afraid of the base race potential. Fleur's got 2 owls cooking up at the base at the moment. And QQ's got his fox. Where's the boar? The boar's here as well. This is a pretty scary army, though. That mill is going to go down for sure. Not a lot of farms left on that mill anyways. QQ already has a third base and the second base fully saturated. Fleur is going to continue to push in. Oh my god. Okay, gets the fox warren. But the rest of the army is going to get cleaned up. Was that worth it for Fleur? I don't think so. He's going to lose so many expensive tier 2 units here. The boar's still alive. The fox still alive. Yeah, fox warren went down, but QQ doesn't really care about that so much. And that main base went down, but there was only a couple farms left there. So overall, I mean, yeah, that was a great trade for QQ. Even was able to bring Fleur's army back into the balloons here. Now QQ is going to move out for some fox pressure. This is a little rough against the lizards and with the water here. Keep in mind, QQ does have a lot of the army value wrapped up in defense here. Probably about 400 food worth of defense. Now, like, maybe 600 or so. It's kind of hard to tell with all the barbed wire. Well, I guess I could just count it. How much is barbed wire 10 food nowadays? Man, I'd like never play barbed wire. Maybe it's 5. I kind of forget. It's been a minute. But regardless, that's 360 worth of balloons. And maybe 200 or 100 worth of barbed wire. So quite a bit of the army supply in those. QQ just playing with hero units here. A couple foxes, building a lot of boars. But the owls are around. Now, the owls generally do good against fox, but not great against boar, because the boar can torch down all the mice. Fleur gonna push in with the mice here. Probably just trying to finish off this boar. Oh, and it's getting close. Look at this, man. This balloon barbed wire defense is kind of getting it done. And it looks like Fleur taps out there. Not quite able to make it. And that means that a point goes on the board for QQ. So we just need to figure out what the ban is. Fleur down to 1 life. Boar is banned. Alright, there we go. These guys are not messing around. I gotta update the scoreboard. Alright, now we have banned boars. Alright, here we go. Spawning on the right, with the badger back available to him, is Fleur. And on the left-hand side, QQ, again, with another weird deck of double tier 3, double defense. Sticking with the fox, but gonna go pigeon badger this time. So, I mean, again, Fleur's got the better comp on paper. But if QQ can really play this defense well, I mean, an RD cannon is gonna be very powerful. Even the turrets are gonna be really strong here in the right position. You know, because there's no moles from Fleur. But pretty sparse map when it comes to gristmills. Fleur kind of's got a pocket base that's way over here, and QQ doesn't really have any way to abuse that. There's no back alleyway or anything back there where Fleur could choose to go. I really feel like this is going to have to be the expansion from Fleur, which is fine. It seems far away, but as long as Fleur can control this central area, it should be okay. Now QQ, this is a pretty good map to be running some defenses, because QQ could take either this base to be safer or just go all in with this more central base, but either one is going to extend his territory enough to get up an RD, and I could see QQ like taking this base and then sneaking an RD up here on this double high ground or something like that. Radically different map here, though, from the last game. Last game, we really had this big macro map with the river in the middle, but this is a short game map. I mean, look how close these territories are, and that's the thing too. Like, you can't get away with greed on maps like this. You know, if you try to sell off your tier 1, build 2 tier 2 Warrens, or try to sneak a tier 3 or something like that, like the rush distance is just so short. It's really easy if your opponent is staying on top of their scouting to punish any sort of tech greed or economy greed. So we could be in a tier 1 chicken game where neither player wants to stop building tier 1 in fear of getting run over. As we can see, QQ going up to 9 tier 1 Warrens already. A little bit of lag. It should clear up. Hopefully it clears up. It's definitely going to clear up. There's no way that it doesn't clear up. We're going to continue playing this game. No problem. It's definitely not Fleur dropping from the match again. I think it is. Yeah, there it is. Fleur drops. So we're gonna have to just redo, I suppose. Alright. So just waiting on Fleur to hop back in. Fleur really having connection issues today. But we are getting through it. So just gonna do a complete redo here. As we wait for Fleur to come back. But again, it's always fun hanging out with everybody, so appreciate y'all tuning in. And we are gonna finish up this best of 21 next Sunday, I believe, most likely on Mochaccino's channel. So that'll be a lot of fun. I have a playlist on YouTube. I actually need to wrangle up some of the VODs from the other casters and put it all together there, just to kind of have a playlist in one spot. Fleur rebooting the game. We're going to try this again. So yeah, next Sunday is the fun day, the last dessert. We are just going to do a straight up re-go once Fleur is back in action. And yeah, so I guess let's talk about Mulrue. Okay, there's Fleur. I was about to buy some time. Alright. Here we go. Trying again. No boars. This is pretty fair. I mean, both sides only saw squirrels from one another. And, okay. In the bottom, we've got Fleur. And up top, QQ. Both players playing the same decks. And this is a very weird map. Good grief. It's pretty favored for QQ, I think. Now, before we get too crazy about that, keep in mind, Fleur actually has a really good start. You know, he's got a nice natural expansion. This is a super defendable position. Only one entry in here. No crazy routes or anything. But like if there was just a ramp around here and Fleur could access this base, because QQ's spawn is fine. I mean, it's not like insane or anything. He's got 3 bases, right? But the problem is the map RNG. By the way, Fleur, there's like no lag anymore, so I think Fleur fixed whatever the problem was. But yeah, I mean, if there was just a ramp here and Fleur could get to this base. But unfortunately, it's really 2 base versus 4, because really this is QQ's base. Unless Fleur just kind of ninjas it and QQ never scouts. But another issue with this map is this double high ground right here. And QQ can get some defenses up here as well. So this is how Tooth and Tail plays out, though. Fleur has absolutely every opportunity to win this game. It's not like map gen matters that much. But Fleur just has to adjust their strategy. You know, Fleur's got to be proactive in this game, and QQ can afford to be reactive. QQ doesn't mind if this goes long. QQ's got access to 3, maybe 4 bases. But Fleur really needs this to be a 2-base game max. And here comes that 1-base Badger. Pretty tried and true QQ strategy, or Fleur strategy. Now, QQ scouts this, and I'm really curious what his response is going to be. I think the right response is you macro up like crazy, and you get your own tier 3. Yeah, just going to match it immediately with their own tier 3. Yeah, I would probably even sell the squirrels. Selling all your squirrels is risky, though. And look, you can see he thought about it. He almost went over there to sell it. But yeah, this is how you answer that. Oh, but Fleur with the double cross. I don't know. My brain's blanking on the. I want to say double deuce for some reason. Fleur with the double deuce here, tricks QQ. It sells that tier 3 Warren. It is going to push out with a lot of tier 1 right here, right now. QQ is going to commit, though. Going to sell off and only have 1 farm on the expansion. And these turrets are really going to save his butt here. It allowed him to still commit to the Badger. Fleur doesn't have moles, is the thing. So Squizzard, I mean, that's so much Squizzard, though. That's 21 units against 6 squirrels. And all Fleur's got to do is target down these turrets. 2 turrets go down. Still plenty of squirrels here. QQ needs about another 20-30 seconds before that Badger is ready. But is going to hold. MG is really good against tier 1. Only 1 pig goes down. That looked really good from the start. I think Fleur just needed to focus that last turret. But it was able to shoot. No problem there. And now the Badger is on the board. The turrets finally go down. A couple farms go down as well. But how is Fleur going to be able to answer this Badger? Fleur still has a ton of tier 1. And sometimes you can just overwhelm. But when QQ gets those pigeons up, it's rough. Because, yeah, I mean, you think you want to get Falcons. But the problem with that is, does Fleur have enough time to get into Falcons? I mean, it takes a minute to build the tier 2 Warren and get 2 Falcons out. And you have to sell off some of your tier 1. So in that minute, you are very vulnerable. But I think that's what Fleur needs right now, is 2 Falcons down. QQ, though, see, this is fun because he's getting an artillery, but I kind of disagree with this. Because now QQ's letting Fleur catch up. And look at this, Fleur kind of realizing maybe QQ's not attacking. Yeah, QQ sells everything but the Badger. Gonna try to esports here with some micro. I don't think this is gonna work, though. Yeah, I think investing in the defense and the arty is a interesting call, because now look at this. Fleur's doing the exact right thing. Fleur was in a very tough spot, but QQ never really utilized the Badger. Never went in for a big counterattack. Maybe just didn't want to risk losing it. And instead kind of hunkers down. But the problem with this is that the economy from Fleur is insane. And QQ probably groaned when he saw that fully saturated second base. I mean, Fleur got up to 16 farms a lot faster than QQ did. And now Fleur can get into those 4 Falcons I was talking about to be able to deal with these Badgers. And I'm liking Fleur's composition a lot more than QQ's. But here's the thing, though. What I might not be considering, I think the way that QQ is thinking about this is a war of attrition. Because, again, QQ's got the better map. QQ can go to 3 bases, can even go to 4 bases. Fleur is stuck on 2 bases. And I don't think Fleur can sit around. I think he's got to move out now. He cannot let that artillery cannon finish on the high ground. Now or never for Fleur. As one turret is finished, the others are finishing up too. He's got to go right now. He's trying to wait on his Falcons, but all these turrets are here to help cover the artillery cannon. Fleur's going to try to push in anyways. Okay, good job. Gets that artillery cannon cleaned up. Oh, if he kills the Badger right here. Probably not going to happen. QQ's got really, really good micro. Great job there from Fleur, though. And Fleur's really got to be aggressive from now on. He can't... Oh my god! Oh my god! The Badger goes down! Fleur! Pushing in! Gonna deny QQ off the third base! Oh my god, Fleur playing the game of his life right now. Just amazing decision making here from Fleur. And these Falcons do not care about that artillery at all. QQ's got nothing left. He's just got the artillery. Fleur realizes this. And, yeah. Rock beats Scissors, but a lot of Scissors beats Rock. As Fleur goes in and takes the win. Oh my god, what a match. That was so good. I am like super hyped for that. QQ down a life now. Fleur, or QQ gets a ban now. So bans are reset. Dude, that was the best match I think I've seen all season. That was so good. Alright, so the boar is unbanned, and lizards are now banned. Man, that game was good. We are still here. We are still playing. But Fleur is down to his last life here. And Fleur is the only other Badger player available to play today. So once Fleur loses his last life, that is it. And lizards are banned. And in the bottom, we've got Fleur on a pretty comfortable comp. And up top, QQ. Squirrel Toad. Goes Toads right after he bans lizards. Interesting. Ferret, Fox, Turret, Balloon, though. I love this kind of style. It's not as strong in a vacuum. Like, I think Fleur's deck is just great. Like, I would recommend Fleur's deck to any new player. Not saying that it's a noob deck or anything like that, but it's just a really solid comp. Maybe replace Badger with Boar for, like, a beginner, because Boar's a little easier to micro than Badger. But yeah, I mean, like, Fleur's got the better comp, but QQ's got higher... He's got the high-risk, high-reward comp. Like, QQ can really lock down Fleur. Now, how is the map gen for, like, doing a big balloon thing or something like that? I think you'd have to take this mill, which, if you look at the terrain here, there's a bunch of walls. There's no way to get in over here for Fleur. Fleur could use the Falcons, though, and harass, which is really nice. But this is the only entrance, the only attack path between QQ and Fleur. And this time around, Fleur's got plenty of gristmills, so doesn't need to feel really pressured to end the game like he did last game. But that was really good from Fleur last game. I'm still not over that because, you know, really struck. He attacked right when he had to. Like, if Fleur did not attack before that already went up, before that third base started getting pumping, there's no way he could have won. He would have just been too far behind economically. And Fleur knew that and played really well and got the dub. So here we are in another match. Game number 7 of the best of 21 here. Fast expand from Fleur. QQ did scout that. And just some tier 1 from QQ. Oh, I think I know QQ. Yeah, QQ did this to me before. Oh, is he going to try to take this mill maybe to build a balloon or something like that? Squirrel Toad can be very surprising. Like, I wonder if QQ is just going to all-in Squirrel Toad. He did this to me a while ago, and it's not that common, but it does work. Like, you just get, like, 9 toads and, like, 12, 15 squirrels, something like that. I mean, and that, if you take the right engagement, I mean, that can just absolutely demolish the opponent's army. Ferret's on the way for QQ, though, so not going to be that Squirrel Toad all-in. And so far, I think this is looking a little better for Fleur here. I mean, the moles are going to do very good against toads. The ferrets are pretty good against Fleur's comp. Fleur doesn't have anything that's really going to be able to push those back. I guess the falcons and skunks a little bit can kind of dance with them. And QQ's starting to get behind on economy now. Is keeping up to date, though. Understands where it is. Knows exactly... This is interesting. He's fake rallying units to make Fleur think maybe he's got some chameleons or something that's trying to stealth around. He's trying to avoid letting Fleur see this base over here. Alright, so what is it? Is it going to be a balloon? A balloon going up. Proxy balloon coming out of QQ as the army moves forward. And here's the play. QQ setting up a bastion over here. The tooth and tail version of cannon rushing is going on. The moles are going to be good against the turrets, but QQ looking for the right engagement with the toads and gets a great engagement with the toads. Absolutely deleting the tier 1 army of Fleur. I'm telling y'all, the toads are kind of slept on. I mean, did you see how QQ just crushed that? Already dealing some good damage to the main base. 3 farms going down. And just gonna focus down the middle with the ferrets at this point. Is gonna get it. Gonna lose a lot of tier 1 in the process, but definitely worth it. Fleur down to only the farms on the natural at this point. And Fleur gonna scout about. This is so tough for Fleur. Like, what do you even do? Do you try to sell everything and, like, mold cheese your opponent, maybe? I mean, QQ's just ahead in every way now. Using, again, kind of unorthodox strategy. QQ's always been one of those guys who marches to his own drum. Doesn't really pay super close attention to the meta and how people say the game should be played. And wins with a Squirrel Toad Balloon Turret Proxy Rush. Backed up by ferrets. Very cool there. So that is going to be it for today, everybody. Fleur losing the last remaining life and the last player available for the Badgers to play today. So thanks everybody for tuning in. It was a lot of fun, and we will catch you all next Sunday, I believe most likely on Mochaccino's Twitch channel as we finish it up. But right now, a very close series. Team Owl leading by just 1 game, 4-3. So yeah, we'll catch y'all next Sunday. See you then.